Let me say something that might make you uncomfortable at first. You are allowed to take care of yourself without earning it. Not after everyone else is handled, not once the house is clean, not once the inbox is empty, and certainly not once everyone else is happy. Right now, you are allowed to take care of yourself without earning it. Somewhere along the way, a lot of us learned that being a good woman meant being tired, being needed, being everything to everyone. And self-care, well, that felt selfish, indulgent even, and certainly optional. But here's the truth no one spells out for us. Running yourself into the ground isn't noble. It's not love, and it's definitely not sustainable. So today, we're rewriting that story. Because self-care isn't selfish. It's how you survive midlife with your sanity, your health, and your spark intact. Let's get to it. Welcome to the Love Your Naked Ass podcast, the Midlife Rebellion Edition. I'm your host, Kimberly Riggins, health and life coach, holistic nutritionist, and your go-to bullshit detector for all things midlife. If you've ever rolled your eyes at the phrase aging gracefully, you're my kind of rebel. Because midlife isn't about slowing down. It's about showing up, speaking up, and maybe flipping a few tables along the way. So grab your coffee or your cocktail. I'm not here to judge. It's time we raise some hell, laugh a little, and love our naked asses again. Let's do this. Hey, welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me for another week of Love Your Naked Ass. So let's get into it. Self-care. I'll be the first to admit, I was terrible at proper self-care. I wore being busy like a badge of honor. I was the yes person. Some people would call me the fixer. I definitely was the reliable one. Family? Of course I was there. Friends? Always available. Work? Overcommitted. Volunteering? Of course I said yes. But when it came to me, dead last. Every time. I kept telling myself, I'll rest later. I'll take care of myself once things slow down. Sound familiar? But here's the spoiler alert. They never did. Instead, I became utterly exhausted. How many of you can raise your hand to that? I was short-tempered, disconnected, and honestly, a version of myself I didn't recognize and I didn't even like. The breaking point for me wasn't this dramatic scene, but it was very clear. I realized I wasn't actually showing up well for anyone because I wasn't showing up for myself at all. And that's when it clicked. Self-care wasn't the problem. The guilt around it was. So why is self-care always seen as selfish? Now I look at self-care as survival. So let's kill that myth once and for all. Self-care is not selfish. Let me say that again. For the people in the back, self-care is not selfish. It's functional. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And yet so many women are expected to try. If you're constantly giving without replenishing, you don't become more loving, you become depleted. Bubble baths and spa days are lovely, but self-care isn't about bubble baths and spa days. Again, I'm not mad about those. I love to do it. But self-care is about maintenance. It's how you stay emotionally regulated. It's how you protect your health. It's how you keep resentment from creeping in. And it's how you show up present instead of burned out. You are not a martyr. You do not have to suffer to be worthy. So, how do we prioritize ourselves without the guilt spiral? Let's make this super practical. No fluff, no perfection required. Here are some real ways to start without blowing up your life. First and foremost, start small. Self-care doesn't need to be days on end. It literally can be 10 to 20 minutes. That's it. Quiet, movement, reading, maybe just breathing. No phone, no productivity, just you for 10 to 20 minutes. Here's a great one. Learn to say no. No is actually a complete sentence. And we don't need to watch a TED Talk to understand this. You do not owe anyone an explanation for protecting your energy. Ever. This was key for me. Make your self-care time sacred. If it's on the calendar, it counts. So treat it like a doctor's appointment because you would not show up for that appointment. So stop not showing up for yourself. Don't cancel on yourself like you're optional, because you're not. Another way to prioritize yourself is to move your body, not to lose weight, but for your mind. This isn't about weight right now. It's about stress and hormones and mood and mental health. So walk, stretch, lift, dance, just move. And most importantly, that's often overlooked, is sleep. Sleep, ladies, is non-negotiable. Sleep is not laziness, it's regulation. Because when you sleep better, everything works better. All right, it's about that time for your weekly action step. It's simple. I know you know it's coming. Put yourself on your calendar. Seriously, this is non-negotiable. I want you to open up your calendar and I want you to block 30 minutes for yourself this week. That's it. Put it on your calendar like an appointment you wouldn't cancel. No multitasking, no guilt, and no rescheduling for anyone. This is you practicing showing up for yourself. So do not skip it. 30 minutes. A date with yourself. Go do it now. Okay. So let's talk about why self-care changes everything. When you start prioritizing yourself, something extremely powerful happens. And I can sit here and attest to this because when I am giving myself proper self-care weekly, I see the difference. I'm calmer, more patient, more grounded. And the truth is, you can be more you, right? You stop running on fumes, you stop resenting everyone else, and you start living from a place of choice rather than obligation. Self-care doesn't make you less available. It just makes you better equipped. So let this be your reminder this week. You don't need permission to take care of yourself. You don't need to justify it, and you don't need to feel guilty about it. You are allowed to matter. End of story. Before we wrap up, I want to give you another heads up about next week because this conversation about self-care naturally leads right into it. Next week, we're talking about the power of saying no. I've mentioned it a couple times in various episodes, but yes, no is a complete sentence. Say that with me. No is a complete sentence. So if you're exhausted because your calendar is full of obligations you didn't actually want, if you're overcommitted, overwhelmed, and secretly resentful, I'm raising my hand here because I've been there. If saying no makes you feel guilty or uncomfortable, then make sure you're on next week's episode because it is going to help you tremendously. All right, ladies. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Love Your Naked Ass podcast, the Midlife Rebellion edition. If you're loving the show, be sure to smash that subscribe button, drop a rating, or leave a review. Because we're not here to tweak the old narrative. We're here to torch it, rewrite it, and make damn sure every woman knows midlife is her prime. Don't forget to join me on Substack at Rebel Midlife, where we get raw, real, and a little rebellious about what it means to thrive in this chapter. I'm Kimberly Riggins, signing off with this reminder: midlife isn't a crisis, it's your comeback story. Catch you next time, Rebel.